You forget how awesome Assassin's Creed is. How on earth did Assassin's Creed go from this to this? Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Assassin's Creed is in crisis. And I'm not talking about some minor controversy or a buggy launch. I'm talking about a franchise that literally had the Japanese Prime Minister address it in Parliament. Let that sink in for a second. This is Assassin's Creed we're talking about. The franchise that made us fall in love with history. The games that had us climbing Renaissance cathedrals, sailing the Caribbean as pirates, and living through the American Revolution. Over 200 million copies sold. A franchise that even your parents probably know about. You know what kills me? I remember when Assassin's Creed cared so much about historical accuracy that they removed the crossbow from AC-1 because it wasn't period appropriate for the Third Crusade. That's the Ubisoft I grew up with. AC-2 in 2009? That game changed everything for me. Ezio Auditore became one of gaming's most beloved protagonists. Renaissance Italy wasn't just a backdrop, it was a living, breathing world. You learned about Leonardo da Vinci, the Borgia family, actual historical events. The game made you care about history. Brotherhood refined that formula to near perfection. Rome with all its historical landmarks, the Romulus tombs, the Leonardo machine missions. Every piece of side content was thoughtfully crafted. And Black Flag? Man, that game hit different. Edward Kenway's journey from selfish pirate to assassin. The naval combat that still hasn't been matched. The Caribbean setting that made you feel like you were living in the golden age of piracy. Many people, including myself, consider it the best AC game ever made, or at the very least, the last truly great one. Unity had the best parkour system in franchise history. Dedicated up and down controls, elaborate animations. You had to think about your route. Buildings were small puzzles you needed to solve. Now, you just hold one button and move in the desired direction. All player engagement removed. Now we're getting Attack on Titan crossovers in feudal Japan. We're seeing anime cosmetics locked behind paywalls. We're watching a beloved franchise turn into something that feels more like Fortnite than Assassin's Creed. So let's talk about it. This is the painful downfall of Assassin's Creed. And trust me, it hurts to make this video. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Assassin's Creed Shadows. This game was supposed to be the one. Fans had been begging for feudal Japan since literally the first game. For over a decade we waited. And when Ubisoft finally announced it, we should have been celebrating. Instead, it became gaming's most controversial release in years. November 24th, 2025. Ubisoft drops the Attack on Titan crossover announcement. And I remember seeing it and just... what? What are we doing here? You're telling me that in a game set in 1579 feudal Japan, we're investigating Titan-sized threats in crystal caves? Here's the kicker. You don't even fight the Titan. Content creator The Hidden One AC put it perfectly. You literally fight the gods in AC Origins. You fight mythical beasts in Odyssey. You fight dragons in Valhalla. They didn't even bother to do this for the Titan. The crossover featured what players called atrocious cutscenes, with animations so stiff they looked like PS2 era. And after you complete this free quest, a pop-up directing you to purchase cosmetics with real money. The cool Mikasa-inspired armor? Locked behind paid DLC. This is Assassin's Creed now. A franchise built on meticulous historical recreation is shoving anime crossovers and microtransactions into what should be a serious historical game. This isn't Easter eggs or fun references. This is Fortniteification, plain and simple. But the Attack on Titan disaster? That was just the cherry on top of months of accumulated controversy. The Yasuke debate generated a petition with nearly 100,000 signatures demanding the game's cancellation. Elon Musk got involved, suggesting DEI initiatives were killing art. Japanese politician Satoshi Hamada raised concerns to the government about historical inaccuracies. And the errors weren't subtle, my friends. Viral posts with over 12 million views documented ceiling heights that were physically impossible for traditional Japanese architecture. Square tatami mats, when they should be rectangular. Seating arrangements that violated Sengoku period protocol. In the first trailer, Nobunaga Oda's family crest appeared upside down. Upside down. But here's where it gets serious. Really serious. The gameplay footage showed Yasuke entering Itate Hyozu Shrine, a real shrine that's been standing for over 1,400 years and is still functioning today. And in the game, he destroys the altar, destroys the sacred mirror, destroys the taiko drums. The shrine representatives made it clear, Ubisoft never asked permission. If they had asked, we would have refused. They indicated plans to take appropriate action to remove the shrine from the game. March 19th, 2025. Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba addresses the National Diet, their parliament, directly about this video game. His words: "Respecting the culture and religion of a country is fundamental. Defacing a shrine is absolutely unacceptable. Such actions are nothing less than an insult to the nation." A video game became a diplomatic incident. Let that sink in. Origins in 2017 changed everything. And look, I actually liked Origins. Bayek was a great protagonist. Ancient Egypt was stunning. But this was where the shift happened. RPG mechanics, experience-based leveling. The Hidden Blade, the franchise's signature weapon, couldn't even guarantee one-hit assassinations anymore if enemies were higher level than you. Think about that. An Assassin's Creed game where assassinations aren't guaranteed. Then Odyssey went full RPG. Dialogue choices, romance options, multiple endings. And here's the thing. The protagonist wasn't even an assassin. The game was set before the Brotherhood existed. So what exactly were we playing? Fans are split down the middle on this. I know people who had never played AC before who loved Odyssey. It brought in new fans. But I also know dedicated AC fans who felt completely betrayed. The franchise they grew up with was gone, replaced by a Witcher 3 wannabe. Valhalla tried to have it both ways. Market it as a return to roots with social stealth and parkour, but keep all the RPG bloat. Except the marketing was misleading. They cherry-picked gameplay footage to show only to selected journalists. When the public finally played it, the return to roots promise evaporated. The game is ungodly long. The story makes you feel like you're taking one step forward and two steps back. Characters are dull. Writing is all over the place. And the Dawn of Ragnarok expansion? Look at the cover. Look at it. Does that look like Assassin's Creed to you? Here's the reality check nobody wants to hear. Ubisoft is in freefall. Their market cap collapsed 85% from $12.17 billion in January 2021 to $1.78 billion in January 2025. Stock dropped 60% in 12 months. They posted a €159 million net loss, with revenue down 17.5% year-over-year. X-Defiant? Cancelled after reaching 15 million players. Division Heartland? Cancelled after 3+ years of development. Splinter Cell VR? Dead. Immortals Phoenix Rising 2? Dead. Watch Dogs? Reportedly dead and buried. Over 1,700 employees cut since 2022. Studios closed in San Francisco, Osaka, Leamington Spa. And in March 2025, Tencent invested €1.16 billion for a 25% stake in a new subsidiary that will manage Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. Buyout discussions continue. Ubisoft as we know it might not exist much longer. Meanwhile, 58% of Ubisoft's PC revenue now comes from microtransactions. AC Shadows has 7 cosmetic sets at around $20 each in its store. And when fans complained, The associate game director defended it. Microtransactions, for all the flack it gets, allows us to do the Isu stuff, the quest stuff, the parkour updates, all of it. Translation: we've designed the game to need microtransactions to fund basic features that used to be included in the base game. You want to know what's beautifully ironic? The game that nearly killed the franchise through its disastrous launch has become the most vindicated entry in the series. Unity's Steam player count tripled during the Paris 2024 Olympics. A decade after release, it still averages 500+ concurrent players. Why? Because fans finally realized what they lost. Unity had parkour that made you think, stealth that mattered, black box assassination missions where you scouted the area and planned your approach. The last time AC genuinely prioritized what assassin means. The sentiment everywhere is, Unity was right all along. It represented the road not taken, what AC could have become if Ubisoft had fixed the bugs rather than abandoning the entire design philosophy. A Black Flag remake is coming, codenamed Obsidian, targeting March 23, 2026. And I want to be excited, I really do. Black Flag is my favorite AC game. Edward Kenway's story, the naval combat, the Caribbean setting, it's perfect. But here's what worries me. It's reportedly going to be more RPG heavy with no modern-day sections at all. The modern-day story that connected Desmond through 5 games? Gone. The narrative thread that made AC special? Removed. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot says remakes will modernize old games. But what does modernize mean? Does it mean fixing bugs and improving graphics? Or does it mean cramming in RPG mechanics, microtransactions, and battle passes? Because if they turn Edward Kenway's pirate adventure into an experience-grinding, level-gated, microtransaction-filled RPG, I don't know if I can handle that. So here we are. Assassin's Creed went from a franchise that removed crossbows for historical accuracy to one that adds Attack on Titan crossovers for cash. From games that made us fall in love with history to games that insult entire nations. From parkour that required skill and planning to holding one button. From guaranteed assassinations to you're not high enough level to one-shot this guard. The painful truth is this. Assassin's Creed Shadows achieved the second highest day one sales revenue in franchise history. Over 5 million players. Generally favorable reviews. So despite all the controversy, all the backlash, all the fans saying this isn't Assassin's Creed anymore, it's still making money. Which means Ubisoft has zero incentive to change course. The franchise that defined a generation of stealth action games has completed its transformation into exactly what its most devoted fans feared. A live service platform for crossovers, microtransactions, and increasingly distant memories of what made these games special. I grew up with Ezio. I sailed with Edward. I fought through Unity's Paris despite the bugs because I believed in what the game was trying to be. But watching Attack on Titan Naue running around feudal Japan to grind for paid cosmetics? That's not the Assassin's Creed I fell in love with. And the worst part? I don't think we're ever getting it back. What are your thoughts? Do you think the Black Flag remake can save the franchise? Are you still excited for AC after everything with Shadows? Let me know in the comments because honestly, I need to know I'm not the only one feeling this pain. If you made it this far, hit that subscribe button. We need to stick together as fans who remember what Assassin's Creed used to be. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. Except apparently, respecting the franchise's legacy. I'll see you in the next one.